What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. You click, you become a member. All you got to do is try recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the link. Now, with that being said, we're here today to review Top Gun Maverick. Now, I saw this movie a couple of days ago. Haven't had a chance to review it, but here I am with my review. Now, straight off the bat, I'm just going to tell you this was a freaking amazing movie. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. I'm not even gonna kind of like shoehorn you guys in. I'm gonna tell you right out of the gates, this was a dope ass movie. This movie is what all of these movies have been trying to do, trying to like create a sequel from a real popular movie in the 80s or from the 90s or from a different era and create a sequel that actually not only rivals it, but just in general, just tells a freaking good story. That's a problem where we've been having lately with these retellings or reboot sequels or sequels 20 years later. The stories just don't add up. Like they're just not as good. Like they try really hard. They claim to be fans of the original series or they claim to be fans of the original movie. And then somewhere along the way, they just lose it and just muddy it up a little bit. This movie from beginning to end is a very good movie. Uh, Going into it, I really thought I was going to be able to predict the storyline based off of the trailer. And they kind of surprised me and they went, even though it was sort of predictable in some aspects, but they didn't go the atypical route or the route that I thought they were going to go, at least story wise. But yeah, there are some scenes that you can kind of see like what's going to happen next. But again, the story is so much fun and it's one of those things where it's like, of course it's going to go that way because that's the only way the story can go in order to make sense. But yeah, I like I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Tom Cruise did his thing, and it really does give you that vibe. Like this really feels like what Maverick would be like years later, especially to the character that we were introduced to in the first movie, right? Another thing that people tend to do is they tend to lose who the character is. They make these sequels, and then somewhere down the line, they make another. They make the original. Then somewhere down the line, they make the sequel, and then they lose the essence of who the character is. This movie legitly feels like this would be the Maverick in that day and age. He ain't changed much. He's probably not going to change much, and that's what we got from the first movie. But like I said, they did a really good job at trying to uh, create a story that would be centered around Maverick, but then also kind of encompass new characters. And the idea that they came up with to do this was freaking fantastic. And the jet fighting scenes were freaking amazing. I really wish we would have got to see this in Dolby or IMAX. We didn't because we wanted to see the earliest screening, so we just got it in standard. But there is a possibility that we will be rewatching this. Maybe we'll see it in Dolby or something. But shout out to the free tickets that we got. Thank you, whoever produced those. Hint, hint. Anyway, overall, man, the whole cast in this movie is likable. The music in this movie, man, the music in this movie hits home. Like throughout the whole damn movie, the score, the soundtrack, everything, it was on point. Even the freaking title card was on point. Everything felt like a legit sequel to the movies that came out in the 80s, and you can't even argue with that. Like this movie was that freaking good. Like it was that freaking good. It was freaking enjoyable. It didn't feel like a 2-hour movie. Every character in this movie is likable, and it's like, and I was afraid. Tell you, I was afraid. I was afraid that they were going to be like, adding a little bit of that agenda stuff, and they were going to have like some sort of, I just thought they were going to try to do something stupid, and they were going to say something that was going to rub me the wrong way. But luckily, I didn't really catch on to it. And if they did it, it was so subtle that I didn't catch it. But the movie was freaking fantastic. Of course, there's some freaking jokes in there. Now that I'm thinking about it, there are some little jabs, but it was, like I said, it's nothing that's like too over the top where you're just like, it's eye rolling. But I'm gonna tell you now. The final sequence of this movie, the last like 30 minutes, freaking action packed, straight up intense, edge of your seat type stuff. And the fact that they really filmed this shit in the cockpit of a jet is even more freaking amazing. I love the fact that they did it. I love the fact that most of the aerial stunts that you saw were performed by actual freaking planes. Tom Cruise is great in that regard. He is one of the last legit action heroes that we have left, surprisingly. And the dude signs up to do his own damn stunts. So you have to clap for that. You have to give him his roses for that. Overall, like I said, the movie was highly enjoyable. It felt like a legit continuation of the original story. Um, Years down the line, and we actually do get a look at, like, what Maverick would be like. Like, they really encompassed who he would be, the problems that he would probably be facing, the problems in his own character, and how that would affect his life. And it's just a dope story. I just loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. This movie was awesome. And a shout out to Val Kilmer, even though he was very limited in what he could do because of his medical condition. They made sure they made it work. They made sure that he was on there. And let me tell you, even though it's like a little bit in the movie, Val Kilmer kills that shit. So shout outs to him for coming through and actually doing that shit too. So look, I'm not even fucking bullshit you guys. This is a dope ass movie. I'm not even going to give you guys the little grade slot, the spare slot, or any of that. I'm going to just tell you, go out, what you're doing right now, stop what you're doing, go to the movies and see it. Because if there's any movie that's supposed to get you to sit your ass in the seats in the movie theater, it's definitely this one. This is one movie that I recommend going to see right now just to fucking enjoy it. Like, it's Top Gun, bro. It's Top Gun. Go see it. Stop bullshitting. I highly enjoyed it. I think if you're a fan of the original, you're definitely gonna like this one. It's one for the ages. It's one for the books. Probably top five movie. One of the top five movies of this year. I gotta let the year finish out before I start putting my list together. But definitely, Top Gun is probably gonna be on it. So that's my review. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys have a magnificent day. Adios.